Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Clangin and Bangin with Mikey, episode 186. And today we're going to talk about, let me fix my camera real quick. Today we're going to talk about bodybuilding. A lot of people want to step on stage and they want to compete for various reasons. Some people just want to do a one-time thing and that's it, which is cool, which whatever. And then there's other people who want to chase that pro card or just, see how far they can take it, right? And that too, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But the thing about it is that competitive bodybuilding is not for everybody. There was a guy who did the same show I did, USA's. And I can't remember his name, but he did an interview. And he did an interview after the show too. And he simply said, he said, yo, I tried my best, but my best wasn't good enough. And in that interview, he said he dropped his calories from 2,800 to 1,800 a day. Anybody knows when you drop calories, especially that much of calories, it's like you're literally taking out maybe 2 meals at the most, And it's a lot, because you suffer. You can do everything you want to do to get that pro card, man. And sometimes it just comes down to the guy next to you has better bone structure, better conditioning, better overall size. It really doesn't matter. There's some guys their bone structure just built for this sport, right? I'm gonna flip it. Because I know what it's like to compete against the highest level of amateurs, because I've done it, and that's something nobody can take away from me ever. I don't care what people say. Competing, I don't care if it's your first local show, or you've done multiple shows, multiple NBC shows, and you qualify for nationals. I don't care if it's in Mr. Olympia. Competing is fucking difficult. Like, people can sit there and say all this shit, do all this shit, make all the fucking excuses they want to make. But at the end of the day, competing is fucking difficult. It's financially stressful. Because you spend so much fucking money on food. And you're buying supplements and you're doing all this other shit and you're basically living in the gym, right? I ran into this one person. I'm not gonna drop any names because I'm not gonna do that. So they asked me, hey Mikey, how you been doing? Because because usually what I do after a show, I don't care what it is. I take 2 weeks off and I just chill, and not that I go off the diet, but I slowly start doing my rebound, what I call the rebound, which is basically I'm gonna eat the same food, just more of it, and maybe throwing a few cheat meals here and there, So this person seen me and they're like, hey Mikey, how you doing? Hey, I ain't seen you in a minute, yada yada yada. I go, I'm like, oh, I'm cool. I just did USA's, that type of stuff, like whatever. And I told this person straight up, I was like, I got the floor wet with me. I took 16 out of 16 of my category, but I knew going in that this is the best of the best, bro. And just me being on stage with them boys is just a whole different feeling, And at the end of the day, it's like, okay, it's cool, it's whatever. Because the goal for me was to never become a pro, was to never chase a fucking pro card and do all this shit. Because a lot of these pros, bro, they're low level or pros that not that I know personally, but a lot of people who claim to be professional bodybuilders, like, you look at them and it's like they're never gonna win a pro show. Year after year, they look the same. They don't add there's no development to their body. And it could be a plethora of different things, right? It could be a bunch of different things. But in reality, man, is like getting back to that person I was talking about. They were saying, "Oh well, yeah, you know what? I finance myself. You know, I pay all my bills myself. Yada yada yada. I do everything." They would basically come up with excuses as to why they placed poorly. And I asked this individual, like, "Oh, like okay, like what did you place?" They said, I think they said towards the bottom. It's okay. And then they go, well, I know what I had to do. It was my posing and everything too. And I'm like, okay, then if you knew that was your posing, then why didn't you spend more time practicing on it? And that's when they came up with a bunch of excuses. He's like, well, I got a full-time job, this and this and that. I was like, like, don't you think everybody else who is prepping for a show has a full-time job as well? Don't you think everybody else goes through the same thing you went through? And she was comparing herself to a few IFBB pros that I know who don't work, whose lifestyle is funded by their significant other. I'm like, yeah. But when's the last time they competed? They got a pro card, but they've done one pro show. And that was eons ago. So what's that tell you? And this person was comparing themselves to these pros, and I'm like, number one, you can't. And I simply told this individual, because I'm the wrong guy to come to them and bitch about, what you think you deserve and all this other shit, because in reality, I don't really care, I honestly find that shit weird, and I do. But tell you why I find it weird, because it's like, if you're sitting there complaining about it, and you could have done better by putting in more work, then you 100% deserve the results that you got. Like, it's not hard, Like, if I know my conditioning is off, or if my posing is off, like it was for this past show, because it was, I'll be the first one to tell you. I took last place because I earned that spot. I earned that spot because out of my whole entire lineup, I looked the worst. It's the reality of it. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and fucking complain to you about what I think I deserve. Like, no, I got what I deserved, which was last place. And it's really difficult for me to be sympathetic with people who complain about that. I'm like, this individual was complaining about, oh, well, like, the sport is so subjective, yada, 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 boom, 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 well, and he's like, well, like, and they said, like, yo, like, all my hard work, I want something to show for it. I'm like, but you didn't work hard. You just said that your posing could have been better. You didn't work hard. Like, what you want me to do about that, bro? It's like if somebody comes to work late 5 minutes a day, every day, Monday through Friday, that's 25 minutes a week, over a month, that's an hour and a half of company time, right? Yeah, I get it. People want to say it's only 5 minutes, but it adds up. Because 5 minutes becomes 15, 5 minutes becomes 20, or so on and so on and so on. And it's like, so you can't complain when the consequences are right there in front of you, right? And I think that's what this individual didn't understand. Like, they thought just because they put the work in, and they deserved a higher placing. No, you got what you deserved. Now, granted, are there some people who do get placed higher than other people? 100%, for whatever reason, But at a national level show, the judges are pretty spot on. The judges will tell you exactly what it, what it is. It's like me personally, I had judges coming up to me the day after, walking out the hotel, chopping it up, and they would tell me, yo, I judge your show, this and this and that. And before he could even give me feedback, I was like, I know what I gotta work on. It was my conditioning and my posing, my presentation overall, And it's true. I'm never gonna sit there and say that I deserve to be placed higher or whatever it is. Because even when I did my first show, guys were saying that. I'm like, no, 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 no. I deserve the placing that I got. I never went in with this victim mentality and tried to guilt trip other people into thinking I deserve better than what I got. Like, no. It's like my main goal for every show that I did was to beat the last package. You know? Whether it's coming in bigger, more conditioned, and every show up until this show, I was doing that. And I honestly don't know what happened. I don't know what caused my body to react the way it did. Because you look at them stage shots and it's like, it's a little rough, you know. But I'm never gonna complain about it because you know what? I earned that placing. You know, I got nationally qualified, and I placed in a national show. This is a kid who, if you look at my medical history, wasn't supposed to live past 24 hours. This is a kid who doctors told his mother and his father that he probably won't walk and talk, let alone play sports. So what you talking about, bro? Everything that people said I couldn't do, I've knocked that shit down. And I'm gonna continue to knock shit down. Cause that's just how I am. Sorry, not sorry. Can't help that. But to think that you deserve something just simply because you put in some bullshit effort, which it was, you know, and I didn't want to say that to this person, but we all know what it is, because it's like you've done multiple shows and you literally look the same every fucking show. And you want to complain about your placing. I'm like, look at your physique. Did you make any improvements? Did you actually get bigger? Did you get stronger? Did you take the time to actually grow and fucking, actually diet, actually suffer, you know? I think because a lot of people, and I remember this individual telling me yesterday, and they were like, oh yeah, like, I don't like being on stage. I'm like, then why compete? Like, you can still train and diet and, do everything that you want to do and not compete. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's like, if the stage makes you that fucking uncomfortable, then why you keep doing it? And I asked this individual, like, oh, okay, what's the trigger for you being uncomfortable? They said they don't know, which is bullshit. I'm not a psychologist, but I'm trained like one. We all know what the fuck triggers us. So that to me is bullshit. Because it's like you're gonna sit there and say that you're triggered, but you're not gonna do the work to see how you're triggered by something. Does that make any sense to you? If somebody tells you they're triggered by something, they're usually gonna give you the antecedent as to why they got triggered. They're gonna tell you the cause of what caused them to get triggered before they get triggered. That's what antecedent is. And if you don't know what causes you to get triggered, number one, you're fucking lying. And number two, you need to do some internal work on yourself. Because if you don't know what triggers you, how are you gonna go out into the world and know how to maneuver in the world and know how to do certain things? And I think that's what a lot of people fail to realize, man. Is like, we're 100% responsible for what the fuck happens in our life. No, I'm not talking about like, you losing a loved one, you breaking up with your girlfriend, your wife, whatever, or shit like that. Shit that's out of your control. What I mean is that we're responsible 100% of the time for our emotions. Because I ran across this thing on Instagram. This therapist is talking about, like, how she tells her clients, look, your emotions are valid. Your behavior of how you perceive the situation is not. And it's a beautiful thing to say that, because it's like, and I would always tell certain people, or people in general, is like, yo, like, we're 100% in charge of our emotions 100% of the time. I didn't realize that your behavior wasn't appropriate until afterwards, right? And I'm like, yeah, okay, it makes sense, because it's like, okay, if you're triggered about something, and majority of the time it's not the person who you're talking to, it's certain situations that cause you to go back and just shut down. And I think, right, me and a former best friend, right, she had this really, really bad habit of stonewalling people, shutting down with people, and then, like, not wanting to talk about it afterwards. I'm like, no, like, that's not healthy, because number one is, like, you just shut down, you stonewall people, and if you don't feel comfortable talking about your behavior, you don't talk about it. That's not healthy, because she would be the type of person who would call you out on your shit, but when you did the same thing to her, she would get defensive. And like, what? I thought we were talking about behavior. What are you talking about? And with me, it's like, yeah, I'm a jokester, I'm a prankster, I'm all that shit, right? But I am also a realist. I'll sit there and I'll listen to you, whether you want to vent or you want solutions, you let me know, either or, because sometimes I'll be in a conversation thinking it's solution based, and it's actually a vent session, right? And I'll listen, and then the person will stop talking, and then I'll give my tidbits, and then they'll be like, wait, hold up. I was like, oh, okay, so this is a vent session, not a solution session. Okay, cool. I can sit here and listen to you. I have no problem doing that. And I really don't. Just let me know which tool that you want, and I'll gladly oblige by it. But getting back to the former best friend, man, I told her, like, number one, that's not healthy, because you can't call somebody out on their behavior and then say how much that affects you, and then not want to get the same response back. Because if we're talking about things that affect us, it doesn't matter what you think. Like, this is what literally makes me feel the way that I feel. So if you feel like it's not warranted, then why the fuck are we even friends? Why are you bringing up my behavior and how it affects you if I can't do the same for me with you? It's not a friendship. If anything, I don't even want to know you. I want nothing to do with you if that's the case, right? And I think that's what it comes down to, man. It's like, a lot of people will be quick to point out how you did them wrong, or how everybody else did them wrong. And this is me going back to the very beginning of the podcast, while I'm talking to that girl in the gym, when she's blaming everybody else and she's saying all this shit, but it's like, but yet she fails to realize that the antecedent was her. Like, you've done multiple bodybuilding shows. You haven't changed. You haven't developed your body to the point where, if you want to win first place, just fucking say that. Cool. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to go win first and be like, yeah, well, I want first and that's it, go get it. But you got to change your mindset too. And even other people in the gym were telling me, like, yeah, like, I don't understand how this individual doesn't get it, because it's like, they want to sit there and complain, but it's like, we see your body week after week. It doesn't make any changes. There's no changes to your body. And even the day of the show, she was in the gym practicing and posing, and I'm like, and I saw that, and I'm like, you already lost. Like, you in the gym the day of the show, practicing and posing. That's the wrong move. Because it is. If anything, posing should be done. You should be confident in your posing probably a month out, 3 weeks out. You know, you should be doing posing at least every day for me personally, 20, 30 minutes. You know, you shouldn't be doing posing sessions for 5 to 10 minutes or whatever it is. You should be actually, posing should be always more difficult than the workout. And usually it is. Guys who actually pose and who actually hold their poses, who actually go through the routines and go through the nuances and everything, everybody knows that posing is more difficult than the actual workout. But in reality, man, it's like a lot of people don't realize that, like I said, competitive bodybuilding is not for them. You know, whether it's your mindset, your shitty personality when you lose. Man, cause I was backstage with them boys at my show, like, and we was making plans after the show, bruh. And I'm like, what y'all boys gonna eat? You know what I mean? And like, whatever, boom, 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 right? All right, cool. You know what I mean? And it's like, I made it a point to be like, yo, it's like, even though we competed against each other, like, this is all a brotherhood, bruh. You know what I mean? It's like, cause it is, you know? Like, we've all done the diet, the training, everything, and it's like, it is that some of us came with a better package, and you know what? I'm perfectly fine with that. And like, I'm never gonna hang my head based on that. I was like, no, it's like I did the best I could, you know, with everything I had going on with losing my brother, trying to balance a new relationship, you know, trying to just focus on things that I could control, you know, just for me to get on stage, and get the best, you know, bring the best package I could possibly bring. And, you know, I'm never gonna be mad at that, because people can look it up, you know, they can look up and see, like, oh yeah, if I have kids or whatever, they're gonna be like, oh, Dad did a national bodybuilding show? When was this? And all they gotta do is type in USA's 2024, NPC is gonna pop right up. Like, my name might be at the bottom, but my name is still there. My picture's still gonna be there. You know, my stage shots are still gonna be there. You know, and that's the one thing that a lot of people fail to realize, man. It's not about the finished product. It's about the journey. A lot of people will not understand the importance of the journey, because they're so hyper focused. Oh, I gotta get first place. Oh, I gotta get first call. It's just like, bro, just enjoy being there. It's just another show. It's like I was telling one of the IBB pros that I know. It's like, as I told, and because she asked me, like, oh, you know, are you training for something? I said, oh, you know, are you prepping for something? I said, oh, you know, and this is like 2 months out. And I said, oh, you know, I'm doing USA's. And, oh, she's like, okay. And she asked me if I was nervous. I said, no, not really nervous. I'm just more anticipating getting it over with, you know, because it's like the diet and everything too. But I said, this is just another show, and it just happens to be that at this particular show, it's some of the best amateur bodybuilders in the world. But you know what? That's fine. You know, I like competition. Competition is healthy, you know, but it's more important to realize that competition isn't only the only thing. Isn't only the only thing. Okay, I gotta put that on the t-shirt. Competition isn't only the only thing. And it's about beating yourself. It's about becoming what you mentally picture in your head and making your body do exactly that. It's about overcoming your fears. It's about stop overthinking, and it's about just you becoming the best version of yourself. And that's what competitive bodybuilding did for me. And in terms of me stepping on stage again and possibly doing another show, because hey, I got nationally qualified once. I can do this shit again. Not that fucking difficult, right? It's not. I don't know if I am. I do know that I want to spend time with my girlfriend. I want to go out, you know, and actually go out, take her out on dates, and not worry about what's in the fucking food, and have a beer or have a drink, whatever it is, and And I'd be like, oh, I gotta do fucking 45 minutes of cardio because I fucking ate, whatever, right? No, I don't want to do that. I want to be present with the people that I love because I want to be there. I don't want to be in a situation where I'm thinking about like, damn, I can't eat none of this shit at the table. Or I can't eat none of this shit, that was cooked because I don't know what's in it. And so it just a whole bunch of shit, And I think if a lot of people just stopped and they just thought about, how important it is to be present in everything, watch how uncomplicated your life becomes, because you're not worried about, what happened before or what's gonna happen after. You're living in the moment, and living in the moment is a beautiful thing. A lot of people, they need to understand that being present in the moment is a beautiful thing, and it's just something that competitive bodybuilding's taught me to always be in the moment, no matter what it is. I don't care if you're first, second, or last. Just live in the moment, because everybody works hard. It just happens that particular day that your number wasn't called. You know what? That's perfectly fine. So anyway, y'all, this is about 27 minutes of your life that y'all won't get back. I appreciate y'all appreciate y'all tapping in with me. Hope y'all keeping it 4Ps. Private player, positive pushing. I'll see y'all next week Sunday. Love y'all, ghosts. And like I always say, know your worth because you're better than what you are. Peace.